for you off camera.
Welcome to This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your local experts on all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Listen in as they discuss the current state of the market, the latest trends, and have a little fun while doing it. Just a little. We do want to say the opinions voiced on this podcast are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individuals. All right, y'all, we are back with This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale. Woo! Where we put the sing in closing.
You never close your eyes anymore when I... Oh,
that reminds me of the old classic, you're clear to close on my heart.
I don't know that one.
Oh, dude, I'll play it for you later.
What was the... Do you remember... Okay, I'm old, right? You remember... What was it called? It was a cassette tape of answering machine jingles.
Oh, I remember.
And it was a late night infomercial or whatever, and it had stupid stuff like that.
Yeah. There's one. It was like it was John Wayne, and like leave a message or I'll come to your house and rip the phone off your wall.
Yeah,
I can't believe we're live right now. I'm talking about this.
I know, that's good stuff. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How you feeling?
Wonderful.
Yeah, things are good.
Good. Well rested night of rest.
So we got all kinds of stuff to talk about today.
Let's
and
get
I'm a little bit all over the board. So catch you up a little bit. I've been working in the tap room on some cool stuff. So we've got...
It's a train.
That was crazy. It sounded weird. So we've got some cool stuff going on at Cedar Glade. And I think what's dominating my head right now is this is a pretty big weekend coming up. I see you're wearing your blue.
Derek Mason making his coaching debut.
That's right.
Saturday.
It's new coach, new era.
Yep.
Pretty pumped about that. We made our golden ale for the draft beer.
Yep.
At the beer of the game, and we're calling it Blue Era.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like welcoming Taylor Swift. If you're watching, we'd love for you to come to our ball game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe bring Travis.
Whatever. He can or don't. I don't care.
The NFL is not playing this weekend.
That's right.
Come on, Taylor.
Come on. It'll be fun. And I'm sure Hans can get you into a box somewhere. You'll have a great time. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am sporting
Rugby club.
The Murfreesboro Rugby Club.
You play rugby?
No, I do not, but I do enjoy watching it. And Cedar Glade is sponsoring the Murfreesboro Rugby Club. We're going to be their team bar. And we're pretty pumped about that. So we made that official yesterday. There's just all kinds of fun stuff going on, Bryan.
It's a fun weekend for Murfreesboro. The weather's going to be hot. It's going to be hot.
Good day to drink beer.
It is, yeah. It's going to be a lot
of water.
A lot of water. Hey.
My man, hydrating over there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, let's get moving. Let's talk. What are we going to talk about first?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where to put this so that I'll just leave it right there. All right. Let's talk about...
let's do some headlines.
One job.
That's right.
Headlines.
Mini hats.
Now that we've had the...
For y'all watching, we were stalling a little bit because Trent was working on the cameras and he wasn't behind there to move us into headlines.
Well, he was trying to make us look better. And Trent...
There's only so much you have to work with here, buddy.
It's just not going to happen, bro. I mean, there's that whole thing about polish. Never mind. Forget it. But all right. So I'm gonna start us off with some headlines. So if you are like me, you have found yourself on numerous mortgage lenders' email lists, and I'm so excited to be on all these different people's list and get the same email, literally the same email, because they either work for the same company or they subscribe to the same listserv or whatever. Yeah. But this one caught my eye a little bit, and let's see, this particular one, I don't even know who it came from.
By the way, if I sent this to Jonathan, I'm not even aware of it. It was the marketing team of it. So, like, I'm looking forward to hearing what all these lenders, possibly me, are sending to you.
I know a whole bunch of folks over at First Bank. Yeah. So I got like 10 of them from different lenders at First Bank. I love y'all. I mean it, but take me off your freaking list, okay? So there's a couple of headlines in this. Number one, almost, and it's interesting that this is coming from a mortgage lender. Almost 50% of listing inquiries are ignored. So somebody sends a inquiry about a listing, agents don't return their calls, which is very interesting. And I have found that to be true just in calling other agents to ask questions about houses I want to make offers on.
That blows my mind.
It's crazy.
It's it's not a seller's market anymore. It's a neutral market at best, right? So that's wild.
It is crazy. So
careful who you hire to list your house.
That's it. All right. So here was the one that caught my eye. The title of the email, the subject line, Metro home prices are falling. That was it. That was the whole thing. And so
match with what you're seeing in the market?
No.
Okay.
And so now Davidson, there might be a little bit, but let me read this to you, okay? Because this is just a short blurb, but I thought this was interesting. But I mean, that is the most clickbaity title ever.
Yeah.
Coming from a mortgage lender.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which honestly, you don't really have a whole lot of business with that, especially with something that's fairly misleading. And it says, while home prices across the nation grew by 0.2% last month, fueled by lack of inventory, this number was still one of the smallest month-over-month increases recording since January 2023. That's true. Right.
We've been talking about that for a while.
Like we've been telling on a soft people, landing. That's right.
Well, and you have been preaching, like, for anybody that's listening and tunes in on a regular basis, you've been talking about for a couple months how if you need to sell your house right now, let's sell it. If you don't need to sell it right now, don't put it on the market in August.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the end of August.
That's right. It's seasonal.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Right.
Y'all, July and August are always the slowest months.
Yeah.
Always. And so the market conditions kind of just exacerbate what's already like a thing, right? Yeah. It's already a seasonal trend.
But back to the headline. Yeah. How is that misleading?
However, 20 of the 50 biggest metro areas recorded a drop in home prices. Austin, Texas saw the biggest decline at negative 1.6, followed by San Francisco, Nassau County, New York. Other areas seeing home prices fall: Nashville, Portland, Jacksonville, Denver. So the biggest fall, okay, this is for the month of July. Yeah, month of July, because August isn't over. So the biggest fall was in Austin, Texas, 1.6%, right? And we're somewhere down that list. So that means we probably less than a 1% drop off at a time that we seasonally drop anyway.
Yeah.
Like they are, and look, maybe they did fall 0.8% or whatever. I don't know. Okay. For Davidson, I pulled some Rutherford numbers and I'll share those here in a second. The point is, filter through the headlines, right? This is something to try to move people. Yeah. This is something to try to like, oh, hey, look, prices are falling.
Yeah.
You know, and that'd be like, but this would be like me going to someone and saying, hey, rates are falling right now. And maybe they bumped yesterday, you know, a quarter point or something, eighth of a point.
Yeah. I tell you what, another thing to filter through is it's not even headlines as much as, and there will be some headlines, but radio ads. Refinance your house. If you bought a house 6 months ago, refinance. Maybe, but maybe not. I'll tell you one thing. You need to call whoever did your mortgage for you because they've got your best interest in mind. So if it was me, call me. If it was Matthew Stump at First Bank, call him. Don't respond to an ad you hear on the radio. And don't respond to a letter from your current servicer. They all want you to refi because they want to make money. Your local person that you got your mortgage with wants to refinance your house when it makes sense to, and not jump the gun on.
Assuming that they are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. There's probably a few out there that are not. So let's look. What does this mean for Rutherford County? Okay. So looking at July to July, right? July 23 to July 24, sales price is up 2%. So this is year over year. I don't have month over month. Because honestly, it just, I don't know. It's seasonal, right? What are we looking at year over year? We're up 2%. And what's interesting, the average is up 2%, the median's up 1%. So we just don't have a ton of outliers. Well, then I started looking and I said, okay, where are we with that? So the average sales price, $487. The median sales price, $435. That is a huge difference between there. And why is that? And it's always because of outliers. So I said, okay, well, what do the brackets look like right now? Like, what does the market actually look like in Rutherford County? The cheapest house available right now on the MLS in Rutherford County is $134,900. Okay. It is an 800 square foot single wide trailer on 1 acre, and it is not inhabitable. Okay. Like it says, this is a teardown.
Yeah.
The next cheapest is a single wide trailer in Laverne on a neighborhood lot for $169. And it also says it is not inhabitable.
So it's a lot.
Yep. It's a teardown.
Yeah.
Like it says in there, this is a teardown.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next cheapest, so there's 3 properties total in Rutherford County under 200K. The third one is a condo. It's a like 640 square foot condo over in off of Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
That's it. That's under 200, 3 properties. The 200 to 300,000 bracket, there's 59 listings, and here's where it balloons. 3 to 399, there's 275 listings, and then in the 400s, there's 293 listings. That's the bulk of our inventory is between $300,000 and $500,000. Okay, but get this: 500s there's 199, 600s there's 125, 700s there's 50. Okay, so it's going down, 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 right? 800s there's 43, 900s there's 18. Above $1 million, there's 64. Goes up. We have more $1 million properties. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 of those are in the 2 millions, 2 are in the 3 millions, and 2 are in the 5 millions. But here's the crazy part, because then I was like, okay, are they all on acreage, right? Because that's where my brain naturally goes. The average acres is 10.56. The median acres is 5.17. There are 27 of those 64 that are under 5 acres.
Wow.
So they're big houses.
It's just the house.
Yeah, they're big houses.
It's the how old are the houses? Are they all?
Almost all of the under 5 acres are 3 years or newer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there's several neighborhoods now that have $1 million homes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's the new normal.
It is. Month supply is sitting at about almost 3 months. So, what we consider an even market historically is 7 months.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but I will tell you, in Rutherford County, 3 month supply feels slow.
Well, we've talked about that before too, that we don't know if the 7 month supply will ever go back to that as being a normal, healthy market. I don't think so. I don't think that, and not until we get to a spot where Charles Etzel talked about this a couple months ago. There's only so much land that's developable now, so we're going to have to start getting more condensed, high residential areas. So yeah, I don't know that we'll ever get back to 7 months of inventory as a normal market. Now we may go there if we do, it'll feel like 2008.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's just it. So 7 months of inventory means that you have houses that have birthdays.
Yeah.
You have to have some that are a year plus.
Yeah.
I had a listing in 09 and 10. It straddled that just about had a second birthday.
That was a tough time.
Yeah. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So anyway, our home price is dropping. Y'all, that headline was clickbait.
Yeah.
It really was. And I'm a little disappointed in whoever sent that out. I don't think I got it from you.
I don't know.
But anyway, interesting stuff. Statistically insignificant, right?
Just like if you watch the show regularly, you hear some themes, and one of them is always read the article, not just the headline. Mm-hmm. And there's another good example of that.
And ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions.
Be analytical.
Let's look at some terrible pictures. What we got? I'm off.
Is it the microphone? I heard the music, but I don't hear the.
I hear you. Oh yeah, this is a terrible real estate picture.
Yes, those guys are real.
It's awful. Yeah. Brian's got like half of his arm cut off, but he's very smiley.
That's a big smile on my face.
Yeah.
I think we've both lost weight since those pictures were taken.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a piano, a tuna, and a bucket of glue?
Tell me.
You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna. A piano, a tuna. And then you're supposed to say, well, what about the bucket of glue?
What about the bucket of glue?
And then I would say, yeah, I knew you'd get stuck on that. Holy smokes. I didn't think we were doing this kind of show.
You're talking about the tip earlier, man.
Pretty...
I'm sending this to somebody right now.
Okay, well, I don't really know that there's anything we need to say about this one.
Consult your architect.
That's vaulted ceilings.
The vaulted ceilings are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been saving this one.
You picked the right day to roll it out.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, what's the point?
Can
Can we go straight to pro tip?
Yeah.
We got jokes today.
Oh, such a legend.
Oh. I think we need to move on.
Yep, we do.
Let's just move on. Oh, that's great. And it's,
Oh, man.
it's not our best work. All right. Market movers.
Thought that's a great idea.
I don't
hard
It'll
to
be
say.
funny, hon, I promise.
Yeah. No, it's breathtaking.
I mean, in a lot of
Takes
ways.
my breath away.
Oh boy. That's a
Thanks,
good
Trent.
This is real. That was real.
Yes, it was real bad.
Really bad.
All right, where are we at in this show? I'm lost.
Market
movers.
movers.
This is you.
So next, this is a big week. Now, all eyes are looking ahead to September 17th, when the Fed meets, and full expectation is for them to cut interest rates. And we're going to get some data this week that's going to really kind of, I think, indicate, give us a good idea if it's going to be 50 basis points or 25 basis points. Because on Friday we get personal consumption expenditures, and this is what I want to. I talk about these reports a lot. I want to give a little more detail on the PCE report, and so the people listening will kind of know what that is. It's personal consumption expenditures. It's a key inflation report, and one of the things that makes it so important is that it excludes food and energy costs because those are so volatile. So this gives, you can have big swings in energy prices. You can have big swings in the cost of food too. So like, remember when eggs were like $5 for a dozen, and they're not that anymore. So the PCE report excludes those two categories because of their volatility. It gives an accurate reading on what's really happening with inflation. So the expectation for month over month is 0.2%, and year over year is 2.7%. The last month, that was the year over year was 2.6%. So if we hit that 2.7% expectation, I think that's going to be an indicator that they might. I would say if we hit it on the button, that maybe we're looking at a quarter. If we come in and that number is more like 2.5, I would say we're probably looking at a half.
What is the possibility that it comes in at 2.7 or whatever, 2.6 even?
Yeah.
And they just don't change it at all. Just if they say, okay, we're doing the right thing, let's wait one more quarter.
I don't think so because they've watching Powell speak last week at Jackson Hole. They are indicating, they are telegraphing their hand, and that's what the market. That's what people don't understand about mortgage rates. I think it's one of the most common misconceptions is that when they cut rates, mortgage rates are going to fall. But the investors that buy these mortgage-backed securities, they're not trading on the headline. They're trading on the expectation. They're trading on their what they think is going to happen. So they're not. So you could see. I said this to somebody yesterday. I think that if things got really crazy and they decided to cut rates maybe 75 basis points instead of 25 or 50, I would expect mortgage rates might even go up because the thought there would be that's kind of could stoke some inflation. It's too aggressive, and it could cause mortgage rates to go up a little bit if they cut rates that low.
And so you said the PCE number comes out this week. So if it comes out very favorable, then I would expect then that mortgage rates would go ahead and react, and they may not react at all
Yeah.
Or not much.
When they make their announcement. What will drive the market on that day, on September 17th, won't be the actual cut unless it's something that's not expected. If it's 25 or 50 basis points, those are expected. It's going to be their commentary. So when they do their press release and they issue their comments and you can read the minutes of the meeting, that's what's going to move mortgage rates in the month of September and October.
I see. Interesting.
So also tomorrow we get jobless claims. So there's two big reports. There's the personal consumption expenditures on Friday, and then tomorrow jobless claims. And the expectation for jobless claims is 232,000. That's the same as last month. So if that number comes in lower than that, and there's fewer jobless claims, that's another inflationary report. So then you might expect maybe just a quarter. If it comes in and it's higher than that, like 250, 260, like a really bad beat, I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. But if it's a bad beat, then we could see something like we saw a couple weeks ago, where rates really reacted to that news.
Because that's the pain that we've been talking about.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Good stuff. From your experience, what impact does the presidential election cycle have on your business?
So I think
on mine it sucks.
Yeah, I think this. It's funny because we can go back and there's a lot of people that research what happens in election years and what happens immediately after elections, and most of the time it's business as usual as soon as the election's over. I think
like literally the next day.
Yeah. I think that this year, because of the heated political climate and the divisiveness between the two parties, that you're seeing that more. And also it's probably going to be a close race. And so a lot of people, no matter which way you want the election to go, you're nervous it's going to go the other way, and there's doom and gloom if it goes the other way. So I think that it's really maybe even more than a normal election year. It's almost like a I wonder if it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and things will slow down so much going into the election that it doesn't recover quickly.
There just seems to be more tension and anxiety with this one.
Yeah.
And we can wax philosophically about why that might be, but that's not for this show.
Yeah, so. I do agree with you. I think that the election's looming large over the next couple of months.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Shiny penny.
You said you had a shiny penny. Shine on, you crazy diamond.
So first one, I got two. This is just community. Rutherford County Leadership Rutherford is turning 40 this class. This is the 40th class of Leadership Rutherford. You need to do this program.
I know.
It's
I've been told many years now.
I'm sure you have. But this morning we had a coffee breakfast social, and it was just a room full of awesome people. I mean, that's a great way to start your day. You get on a Liberty Station, and the food was great. Coffee
Did they have
great.
grilled cheese?
No, they did not. It was catered, and for the life of me, I cannot believe I can't think of the Sweet Addiction did the catering.
Yeah. That's
just,
a cool.
It's a really cool story. It's a nonprofit, and it's women that are in recovery programs are coming in and they're cooking the food, and man, they make their own recipes. They do great food. It's always really good. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big fan of the Sweet Addiction. Big fan of what Jody's doing at Liberty Station. So great room to just kind of stand around with other awesome leaders in the community and enjoy coffee and conversation. So that was one shiny penny. The big one I have here that's more real estate related is and full disclosures, this is a rate quote from a couple of days ago. It's not a current rate. It's and all loans are subject to approval. Application.
blah, 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 blah.
You gotta this may not be a quote for you.
Let's just say it this way: you're not going to get the same deal.
But so this, what I'm going to talk about is the shrinking gap between investor property loans and primary residence.
Okay.
So since rates really started to go up, investment properties were getting pretty close to the same interest rates, but they were getting hammered on points, and they're getting hammered less now on points. That spread of what you should expect to pay for an investment property is returning back to a more normal type of spread.
And for your purposes, let's define an investment property. Is it second home?
It's a great question. It is. So a second home is a property that you're going to live in or use for your personal use a couple times a year, maybe a week or two a year. And then it needs to be far enough away from your primary residence for it to be a place that you would go to.
Is there a limitation on that? Is it like 100
typically
miles?
100 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I've seen some where we've been able to do it for less than that. Like an example might be that somebody might live in Nashville. They live and work in Nashville, but they have a farm in Williamson County, or they go down to Williamson County for like to get out of the city. Sure. So that can be an example. And a lake house could be an example of where you could make a case for there to be a second home. Yep. That's within 100 miles. And then you can't give up control of the property. So like you can't give up. So like if I wanted to buy a second home and it was going to be a beach house, I could not give any property management company access to that property. Now I can have a property manager work it, but they cannot limit my use of it. So a lot of those beach houses are like, yeah, you own it. You can use it 1 week a year. That's not a second home. That's an investment property. And second homes used to get more. They used to get better terms than and easier requirements in underwriting than investment properties. But back in like 2021 or 2022, it was 2022. Fannie, Freddie, everybody kind of was like, everybody's buying second homes and they're putting them on Airbnb. They're investment properties, and yeah, you might go and you might use it for your personal use, but you're really buying this as an investment. And so they started assigning the same loan level price adjustments and down payment requirements that you would expect to see on an investment property. So there is a difference still between an investment property and a second home, but they're priced and underwritten virtually identically now.
Got it. Okay.
So the points, let's just say you wanted an interest rate a couple of days ago of 6.375%. If you were putting 25% down, the points on an investment property would be 1.37. So that on a $400,000 loan, that would be $5,500.
Okay.
If you were doing 25% down on a primary residence, your points would be 0.375%. So there's a full 1% difference in discount points that you're paying for that interest rate. And that cost would be $1,500.
Wow.
Now, what's cool is if you're doing 30% down, the points on a primary residence are the same. But if you're doing 30% down, you get 50 basis points off the rate, off of the discount points. So it would be 0.875, which is just $3,500. So down payment in investment properties, second homes, really matters. And you'll see people that are advertised that can do an investment property for 20% down. They can, but you're gonna pay it. But always ask, is there a break point? If I do 25% or 30% down, am I going to get better terms? And is it better for you to?
Well, here's the thing: if you still got to do 2.5% or something in points. You might as well put it as a down payment.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, why pay the interest?
Why pay the points when it could be applied to your principal? Yeah, you could start out with a lower loan amount.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, that one right there, that 30% was, I think, the biggest shiny penny to me. Just 0.875% on an investment property is really shrinking the gap.
Well, and also with a 0.875 points like that, can you not just bump the rate a slight amount and have no points?
You could. That was really hard to do with investment properties the last couple of years. You were getting points on almost all investment properties. I don't know now because this was just something that was sent to us. I didn't price these myself and see the whole rate sheet.
But I'm thinking if you're under 1% points,
you could probably find. I think you could find a par rate on investment properties now.
Okay,
the par rate is the rate before any discount points.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it won't be astronomically high compared to
right.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
All right. Guess we got pro tip next.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my pro tip. Here's what I'm gonna tell you for my pro tip. I got it. We've talked all the time about having experts on your side, right? And usually we do that in the context of a mortgage lender and a real estate agent, which obviously that's what we know the best. But there's all kinds of experts that you need to have on your side. And I've had some interactions over the last couple of weeks that have really driven that point home. I had to get some trees cut, some trees trimmed back and all of that. And I engaged 2 different companies to come out and look. One of them was like, they showed up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm allowing you on my property. And he texted me a quote. I about fell out when I saw it. And then I called a different guy. I'm gonna give a shout out here. I called Stump Eater. My buddy Justin Stodinger owns that, and he sent his guy out, and they came out and took a look at it. He had great idea on how to get to the other guy. Had no idea how to get to some of the trees that I needed cut. I mean, it was a disaster. And he came in almost half the price of the other one, almost half. It was just over half.
Wow.
And so I told him, I said, yeah, the other guy that I had come quote it said blah, 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 blah. And he goes, well, why did you even call anybody else? And I said, you know what? That's a fair point. I should have known better.
That's funny.
But anyway, so, have people vet them out, ask questions. If it doesn't seem right, ask somebody else, get a second opinion. It saved 4 digits for me.
That's a lot of money
to call somebody else. Yeah. And if you don't have somebody for a particular thing, I have used all kinds of people, good and bad, and I can tell you the good and the bad. I can tell you how to manage some of the people that are on there to get better service, all of that kind of stuff. So if there are some experts that you need, some different trades, that kind of thing, don't be afraid to give me a shout.
It's funny to me how much I would love there to be a study that and it's probably impossible to do, but how much of our GDP is based on realtor referrals. Because people call their realtor for everything. You need a plumber, we'll call our realtor and see who he likes. Mm-hmm. We need an electrician, call our realtor, see who he likes. We need somebody to come out and do
a fence, cut the grass,
put
a pool in.
So realtors are like in any networking group, realtor is just kind of like the seat that is the most important, but it's amazing to me, and I do it too. I thankfully I know a lot of great realtors, and I know a lot of sources I can call. But man,
it's a life goal for me to be the I know a guy.
Yeah,
and it's not just home stuff. I mean, I can tell you some great auto mechanics, some great body shops, some I got a guy does custom upholstery and caterers and. The Shoe Fixer. Yeah, thanks, Missy. Have you ever been to the Shoe Fixer?
That's awesome.
Dude, those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
For all kinds of stuff. It's just, you just got to know. I just continue to find new people.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know a guy. That's me.
Is that a show?
I think that's it.
Great.
That it?
Well, thank you guys all for watching, tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed the content we're putting out there for you.
I'm going to throw one thing out there. We've got Oktoberfest coming up on September 22nd here at Cedar Glade. And if you haven't signed up for that, you need to check out the Facebook event. We're going to have a freaking blast, y'all.
It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. And even if you don't want to participate in the various feats of strength, you should definitely come and witness them.
Yes. Come and hang out.
It's going to be a blast.
Strength or
endurance?
tomfoolery?
Yeah, endurance, tomfoolery, strength.
All the above.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
All right, good show, y'all.
It's going to be fantastic.
Beer.
Thanks a bunch.
Oktoberfest. Come through. Okay, bye.
Have a good week.
Nice.
Thank you for listening to another episode of This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your go-to resource for all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We will see y'all on the next one.
Now for the nitty-gritty. Premise Mortgage Company is a subsidiary of Premise Bank, a member FDIC. Premise Mortgage NMLS number 1894879, BK number 1042893, ML number 1894879. As always, all loans are subject to credit approval and product guidelines. Equal housing lender.